Up here, I have my 3 sources. So now that I've found 3 that I think are really good, I'm going to fill out this PAARC test just to make sure that the ones that I found are really good. So the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to copy the URL, and I'll show you my test answers for this one, or my PAARC test answers for this one, and paste it after it says source 1. So then I fill out this information, which we talked about a little bit in the last video. The purpose of the article was to inform about Maria's ballet career, and I know that because I read it. It's not that long. You need to make sure you take the time to actually read the articles. One of the cool things about this Britannica School Middle is you can change the reading level. So if you don't totally understand what they're saying, you can drop the reading level down and it'll put it in a little bit more of a manageable form for you. But I read it. I know it's to inform about Maria's ballet career. Where does it come from? It came from the Britannica Middle School database. Notice I used the word database so that way my teacher knows, hey, I actually went onto that database to use it. Who wrote it? In Encyclopedia Britannica, it's not much to see on here. It just has the text. So pay attention. This is where you go. Where it says cite, select that. Now we use MLA, and if there is an author, it'll be the very first thing here. Well, there isn't one. So on my PAARC test answers, I just left that blank. Who published it? That's right here. Encyclopedia Britannica is who published it. So that's what I put down for my answer. Is it about my topic? Yes, it is about Maria Tallchief. When was it written? You will notice 2 dates here. This is the date that I accessed the information. This is the date that it was either most recently updated or when it was posted or written. So that is the date that I used for when it was written. August 11th, 2018. Okay? So everything seems to check out with my PAARC test. So that was a good one for me to use. So I'm closing out of it. I don't need to find a new one. Next was the biography one that we looked at in the last video. So source 2, again, I copied and pasted the URL behind the word source 2. Purpose of the article, it was to inform about Maria's life, career, and her legacy. And to get that information, I read through it. Where does it come from? I got it from the biography.com website. Who wrote it? Remember, I scrolled to the bottom of the page on this one. And on a lot of websites now, you'll be able to see things that say citation information or how to cite this website. And usually you find that information at the bottom of the web page. So I had found my author was the biography.com editors. My publisher was A&E Television Network. Is it about my topic? Yep, it's about Maria Tallchief. When was it written? I don't have when it was actually written, but it was last updated. I mean, it's his original published date, and when it was last updated is the same. If these are different, use the date that it was last updated because that would end up being the most current. So that is incorrect. It is April 2nd, right? Yes, April 2nd, 2014. So make sure you're careful about that. And then my third source, this one I did not show you in the last video. I used the one from National Women's History Museum. So when I read it, it was to inform about Maria's rise to fame. Where did it come from? The National Women's History Museum website. Who wrote it? Says it right at the top, by Arlisha R. Norwood. Notice this also gives her credentials, which is really nice to have too. Makes her credible. Who published it? The National Women's History Museum. Is it about my topic? Yes. When was it written? 2017. And that information is up here as well. I do want to show you on this page, though, that I had scrolled to the bottom. Here's an example. how to cite this page. And this tells me here, this is what your author names would look like. Before the date that it was published, you have who actually is the publisher, National Women's History Museum. And then it was published in 2017. If it doesn't give an exact date, that's not the end of the world. I got all of that information just from up here, but notice, scrolling to the bottom, I did have how to cite this page. So make sure you guys are aware of that. Since it checks out with my PAARC test, everything is good, and I can close out of that. I can close out of those URLs because I copied and pasted them all on this document, so I have everything organized. So after you find 3 websites that you think look really good, you think they will check out in the PAARC test, actually fill this document out and turn that in.